I work for a living. If I had all the money in the world, I would not be here. Okay? So I'm a working person, you know? And my kid has to feed her family, you know? And my great-granddaughter has to be fed by her family. I know it's hard out there, but I also know that there are a lot of things that we just said, no, I'm just gonna go this way.
Right. And that she has no choice but to, you know, really pick herself up every day and just head over to work, and it's like a lot of manual labor. Like the way she carried herself in that segment was ridiculous.
Whoopi Goldberg is going viral yet again for a ridiculous clip. This one might be one of the worst ones that I have ever seen from Whoopi Goldberg. And Anna Kasparian is also fed up with not just Whoopi Goldberg and The View, but also the entire left wing, the entire woke cult. Anna Kasparian is just finished with it. You can tell, especially after losing this election, she's like, it's confirmed every single belief that has been creeping into her brain recently about how ridiculous the woke cult has become. Let's get into this clip here where Anna Kasparian absolutely demolishes Whoopi Goldberg and The View for just lies and trying to deceive her audience. It's not working. Nobody's believing this stuff. Let's get into this Anna versus Whoopi Goldberg clip.
Millions and millions of people that felt heard. And that's what I'm trying to lock into. It won't change my stance, or maybe it will. I'm open to someone trying to convince me.
That Donald Trump is good for people?
If that's what you're hearing, you're missing my whole point.
I am.
I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too.
Yeah.
I work for a living.
Congratulations.
Do you? All right, well, the ladies of The View are still trying to figure out what went wrong in the presidential election, with some still rejecting the idea that Democrats abandoning working class Americans certainly did not help their cause. Definitely hurt them in this election. What's even more interesting is how Whoopi Goldberg, someone who is worth tens of millions of dollars, views herself as a working class American. Let's take a look.
I appreciate that people are having a hard time. Me too.
Yeah.
I work for a living. If I had all the money in the world, I would not be here. Okay? So I'm a working person, you know? And my kid has to feed her family. You know, and my great-granddaughter has to be fed by her family. I know it's hard out there, but I also know that there are a lot of things that we just said, no, I'm just gonna go this way.
Right.
And a lot of that is also what happened. I love what she did, yay, you know? We talk to people all the time who say, this is what's bothering me. But the thing that's bothering everybody should not be the thing that puts 85% of other people in danger.
Yeah.
What is she talking about?
I think that's what we're saying.
I think the 60% of Americans who are living paycheck to paycheck already feel that they have been in danger.
Yeah. But also at the same time, what the hell is she talking about? Like, what 85% of people are we putting in danger by electing Donald Trump? I don't even understand what she's referring to. I've heard a lot of people say that, oh, gay people and trans people are now going to be under attack because of Donald Trump. Or maybe like the woke media, you know, Whoopi Goldberg and them have said that Donald Trump is going to throw the View host in jail because he doesn't agree with what they say. Absolutely ridiculous. But also, like, what 85% is she referring to? Let me know in the comments. I genuinely have not a clue.
So, but she knows, Anna.
Right,
she knows.
right.
Now, look, does she work for a living? Yeah, she does. She's a talk show host. That's working for a living.
Super hard work.
Okay, that's what we do. And by the way, sometimes it is hard work.
No, it is hard work, okay? We don't just come on the show and like talk out of our asses like
now she has like 100 producers and one of 5 hosts. Like, I've done that kind of show before and it's super easy. But anyway, but I'm not taking that away from her. My point is, Whoopi, you can't say like you work for a living and then I know your pain, etc., as if you're a person who isn't spectacularly wealthy. You have to at least acknowledge, look guys, I get it. I'm wealthy and I used to be poor, but I haven't been poor in a long, long time. But you know, here's the ways that I could relate. Just be honest about it, no problem, right? But when you make it seem like you're barely getting by and you're worried about feeding your grandkids.
Come on.
Come on.
No, she made it seem like she's struggling and that she has no choice but to, you know, really pick herself up every day and just head over to work, and it's like a lot of manual labor. Like the way she carried herself in that segment was ridiculous. And look, we don't know exactly how much she's worth. I want to be clear about that. There are some articles that keep citing celebrity net worth, which makes me want to pull my hair out of my head.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Guys, that's based on nothing. Like people who believe that.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's a private citizen. She's not a public employee. So her earnings are not public information, but we can put some bits and pieces of what's been reported in the past together to figure out she's not a working class American, okay? So Goldberg was able to negotiate a salary for Sister Act 2 back in the habit between an estimated $7 million and $12 million, making Goldberg the highest paid actress in Hollywood at the time. In 2007, she joined The View as moderator and panelist alongside creator Barbara Walters, Joy Behar, Sherry Shepard, and Elizabeth Hasselbeck. In a 2016 report from Variety, Goldberg's one-year contract was estimated to be worth between $5 million and $6 million.
Dude, I'm not ever one to get mad at people for making money. I find it inspirational most of the time. You know, I am an entrepreneur. I have online businesses that I run, and I'm a very driven individual. I never am the type of person to say, oh, this person shouldn't be making this money. They don't work hard enough. Like I'm not that type of person ever. But the fact that people are willing to pay Whoopi Goldberg and the host of The View $5 to $6 million a year, and this was in 2016. It's probably way more now. And like, let's just assume it's 10 million a year. All she does every single day is wake up and spread lies. Lazy show. Like it's an extremely lazy show. Like Jake and Anna Kasparian just said, they have multiple producers. They don't have to do any research of their own. They show up every day, look at the topics on the card, and just spread propaganda every day for $10 million a year. Like I said, I'm not one to complain and say this person doesn't work hard enough, they shouldn't be making this money. I'm inspired by it most of the time. It's insane to me that anybody would be willing to pay Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar and The View that much money for doing nothing except for spreading lies on television. That's wild to me.
Yeah, you work for a living, but you're not a working class American. There's a difference.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, it's just, look, my point is, you don't understand what it's like to be a struggling American who's concerned about their financial stability. You get what I'm saying? Like
100%. No, look, we've covered The View a lot, unfortunately. And so the two things she said are just not remotely true. Which she's, about being a working class American. She said, me too. I guess maybe that's the new Me Too movement for rich people on TV. Like, oh, working class, me too, me too. Come on, guys, come on. It insults our intelligence, right? But the second thing she said near the end there, if I understood it right, was she was saying, well, we talk to people all the time that disagree. Do you? I mean, I get it that you have you have the former Trump people, et cetera, but there are now never Trumpers have flipped and are on your side, and they gently bring up some points that other people might be thinking, et cetera, and then everybody yells, et cetera. But have you really?
The only person that I've ever seen them bring on that genuinely disagrees with them is that Coleman, I think his name's Coleman Hughes, some author who was genuinely or generally pretty on The View's side. He just disagreed hardcore with Sonny Hostin on a couple of different points about, I think it was MLK or something like that. And at that, like they had a bit of an argument there. Other than that, I mean, Chris Christie goes on there sometimes and disagrees with them, but they don't bring anybody on that disagrees with them, that actually challenges their points of view. They don't do that. It'd be bad for the business. If they brought on somebody who had a little bit of intelligence and actually hardcore disagreed with them on something, they would look like absolute clowns on their own show. They wouldn't do that. It would be glorious to watch, but they would never bring on somebody who genuinely disagrees with them. They wouldn't even bring on somebody like Anna Kasparian or Cenk Uygur, who is on their side, votes for the same people all the time that they vote for, but they know that they're liars and hypocrites, so they wouldn't even bring them on, who's on their side. You have to be fully bought into the woke cult, fully bought into the propaganda to have an option to even go on the show. There's no chance otherwise.
They brought on like a right-wing populist to hash out the issues. No way. Do you accept criticism within the Democratic Party, let's say from progressives or populists?
Oh, definitely not.
Oh my God,
definitely
no way.
Not. Yeah.
Like they're famous for telling everyone in the Democratic Party, shut up and accept Biden, accept Kamala Harris, accept Hillary Clinton, bow your head. That's mainly what The View does. So that's why it insults our intelligence and is it's just offensive, but forget offensive. It's annoying for her to say like, oh, we talk to people all the time. We're so open-minded. Come on,
Look,
Whoopi.
in fact, it's
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
seemed like The View, like we hadn't been covering The View all that much prior to the election because it got boring. It seemed like they mostly agreed on everything. But it is interesting to see how conflict has increased on that show following the outcome of the election, because Sunny Hostin especially does not want to accept that Democrats lost due to the fact that they have abandoned the working class. She's like totally in la la land about it, and so is Whoopi Goldberg, but Sunny Hostin's on another level, okay? But anyway, putting that aside,
Yeah, you can tell that. I don't know if it was the producers or who made the call to kind of switch things up, but a couple of the hosts on there are saying like, guys, we probably should open our eyes a little bit to the fact that Trump won the popular vote. Maybe we should change our ideas up a little bit. And there's Sunny Hostin there who's like, nope, not doing it. So there's some people on the show, and they said that they're looking to hire a pro-Trump panelist as well sometime soon for The View. That would be an absolute nightmare for them. The thing is, they wouldn't hire an actual pro-Trump panelist who knows their facts and everything. They would hire, like I said, somebody who is still bought into the woke cult, but probably could push back on them a little bit. Like, they would never hire someone who could actually make them look bad. It would be great to watch. It'd be glorious. Even if they had one on as a guest just one time, just to one time see them get challenged on all of their idiotic beliefs, that'd be awesome. It would never happen though. And even the little jabs here and there that some hosts are taking, saying maybe we should use this election result as a bit of a signifier that our ideas are not that popular with the general public. Sunny Hostin's like, no, that cannot be the case. Everybody's evil, racist, and sexist. That's the only explanation. So Anna Kasparian is right, dude. They're so close-minded over there.
I'm gonna just give you a little more information because I want to juxtapose the kind of life Whoopi Goldberg lives and what average Americans are struggling with right now. So let's go to graphic 4 here. After landing her gig on The View, Goldberg relocated back to New York City, where she bought a full floor loft in Soho for $4 million.
Me too, she knows. She knows the working class.
She sold the 2-bedroom apartment in 2010 during the economic crash, of course, for just under $3 million, so she lost there. But in a search for more privacy, she moved to the New Jersey suburbs, purchasing a $2.8 million mansion in the gated community. Okay, so that's
in New Jersey, $2.8 million will buy you a castle.
Okay, so that's the kind of life she's lived, okay, and has been living. In the meantime, the Federal Reserve Bank of New York just came out with new data in regard to consumer debt, which is at an all-time high of $17.9 trillion, okay? Credit card balances increased by $24 billion to $1.17 trillion as a record 600 million accounts are now open. Auto loan balances rose $18 billion to $1.64 trillion. Further, student loan balances grew by $21 billion to a record $1.61 trillion. And look, people are taking out lines of credit, they're maxing out their credit cards because they are struggling, okay? And since wages aren't keeping up with inflation, that is also leading to delinquencies. So let's look at that. Delinquency rates have also edged up from the previous quarter. About 126,000 consumers had a bankruptcy notation added to their credit reports in the third quarter, just the third quarter alone. Overall, 3.5% of outstanding debt was in some stage of delinquency, up from 3.2% in the second quarter. So look, I give you guys that data because no, Whoopi, you're not in the same camp as the people who are frustrated and angry about the fact that they see less and less opportunity to build wealth in this country, and even worse, less and less opportunity to stay afloat when it comes to their personal finances.
So let me add one last thing here. Think about it. What are they most animated about, especially Sunny, but almost all of them? Racial issues, right? They're like, oh, race matters a lot. Okay, they love identity politics. Well, because racial issues would affect them, right? But and then liberal policies that they love, that would affect them. So they're very animated by it. But the economic issues don't affect them at all. they have to theoretically find a way to care if they look up the numbers. And I mean, maybe my granddaughter will run out of money in several, decades from now, right? I mean, they have to stretch and stretch to try to find a common bond. Since those issues are not important to them, but the other issues are, they focus on these issues instead of those.
100%, yep.
And that's the point we're making here. We're not saying like, they're rich, so that's bad. No, they earn their money in all different ways. I don't begrudge that, right? I'm just saying, guys, you're so out of touch with the average American.
Exactly.
And you don't know it. And that's why it feels like it almost feels like you're rubbing it in our face when you say that.
And I know they don't mean to do that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But I do think that for people who deliver the news or discuss or analyze what's happening in the country, it's a big problem when you look at pretty much every news organization and realize a lot of these people went to Ivy Leagues. A lot of these people come from affluent families. A lot of these people are totally disconnected from the vast majority of Americans and the struggles they face.
Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur hit the nail on the head there, saying that they focus on these issues. A lot of these elites focus on these issues like racism, sexism, homophobia, stuff like that, because it can actually affect them. Whereas most Americans, they just care about the issue of, number one, the quality of their life, right? And that mostly comes down to finances a lot of the time, crime, things like that, the things that are actually important rather than the identity politics BS. Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, and these people like to focus on things such as racism, sexism, because it does affect them, because nobody can say, oh, you're rich, so that doesn't affect you. Whereas when you're talking about the economy, they can't complain about the economy. I mean, they can, of course they can, but it doesn't actually affect them because they're multimillionaires who get to show up and just spread propaganda all day, and they get paid a lot of money for it. So nobody takes them seriously, but they can act like victims whenever you're talking about racism or sexism or misogynistic people, whatever. So it's spot on by Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur there. Let me know in the comments, what do you guys think about Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur going after Whoopi Goldberg and The View for their ridiculous comments? And I mean, just such closed-mindedness, man. Just straight up propaganda and lies being spread on The View. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about this whole Anna Kasparian versus Whoopi Goldberg situation.